Hello, 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 everybody. I want to say happy, fabulous Friday to everyone, from Facebook Live to Periscope to YouTube. I hope everyone is having an amazing day. I am Prophetess Trish Morissette of Trisha Ministries, the executive pastor of Mind of Christ International, serving alongside my wonderful husband, Pastor Derek Morissette. And I am coming to you on today to give you your Fab Friday word of the day. So I'm excited, you guys. We're in a new year. God has some amazing things in store for us. And the word that God had put in me to share with you all on today. Good afternoon, Prophetess. Thank you all so much for coming on. I wanted to share with you, I'm starting something this year in my newsletter. For the next few weeks, for the next 10 weeks, I'm starting 10 steps to becoming a better you for the new year. And every week I'm going to give everybody a step. And on today, I want to talk about the step that I'm giving everyone today to becoming a better you for this new year. Listen, y'all, we got amazing things in store for us. If you check my YouTube page, I released a prophetic word on last night that talked about a lot of the things that are going to happen and transpire. So make sure you go to my YouTube channel for Prophetess Trish Morissette to tune into that word. But listen, if God is going to do all of these amazing things, there are some things that we have to do on our end. Faith without works is dead. And so one of the things that he has put in me to challenge the people with is become a better you, because once we work on us, we can say that this person or that person and this person got issues, they this, they that, they tick you off, you frustrated, because we could pinpoint everybody else's issues. But one thing that God wanted me to address was that let's focus on us. Because if we focus on us, we could be the change that we want to see, and we could be the change that other people need to see. And so 10 steps to becoming a better you. Step one. Today we're getting step one. This is prophetic because it's going to help you with your new year. Step one is that we're going to go to another level and walking in humility. Okay? We're going to go to another level and walking in humility. Now listen to this. Where I don't care who you are, this is where I need you to say, okay, I have a level of pride that I have been walking in that I need to get rid of. I have a level of pride. I have a level of arrogance. See, when you be real with yourself, you'll understand that a lot of times it's not everybody else. It is us. And we have to look ourselves in the mirror and say, you know what, God? I need to deal with me right now. I need to deal with my attitude. I need to deal with my arrogance. I need to deal with me thinking that it's all about me, and if people don't do what I want them to do. See, here's the thing. God told me, he said, there is something that we're going to tap into for the new year right now, that he's going to take us to another level. But remember, the word says, I give grace to the humble, but the pride I bring to a low. So before many of us can tap into this next level, this next realm, this next dimension of what God is about to do, he said, I need you to look at your own self in the mirror. He said, I need you to see exactly what you look like going into this new year. And I need you to acknowledge the changes that need to happen. Okay, so this is not just for you. This is for me too. We're going to look ourselves in the mirror, because here's the thing. The word says that we can look at our brothers and sisters in the eye. We can recognize the beam that's in their eye, but we don't look at the plank, the big ginormous plank that's sticking out of ours. And so we're not going to focus on who did it and why I don't have this and why I don't have that. We're going to focus on looking our own self in the mirror and saying, you know what? I'm going to go to another level in this area, because I can walk in more excellence when it comes to my attitude, when it comes to me just popping off for no reason, when things don't go my way. See, you got to understand that God revealed to me a long time ago. He's like, when your prayers are centered around, I need, I want, I desire, and God, if I could have, and if they could do, we are praying prayers that are prideful prayers. Why do I say that? Now, I'm not saying it's wrong to ask God to bless you, but I'm saying you have to look at your prayer life. You have to look at the things that you're screaming to other people. Me, I need, I want. And God is saying those are very, very prideful prayers. He said, but understand this, that I am the God that gives grace to those who walk in humility. He said, I bring them to a high place. I bring them into a place of favor. I bring them into a place where they could say, if it had not been for God, God is the reason why I'm at this level. God is the reason why I'm doing this. So I want to challenge you, to check your humility. Check it against the thing that counter against it is pride. Check it against pride. Which one is outweighing the other? Okay, which one is outweighing the other? Is it all about you? Is it all about your desires and your needs? Are you frustrated with God because you don't have? Are you frustrated with your husband, your wife, your spouse, your sister, your brother, your cousin because it's something that you want, something that you need? But God says a sharp anger, a soft answer turns away wrath. But when we come at people the wrong way, when we come loud and obnoxious and maybe in our own egotistical self, then we are walking in a form of pride and not humility. I had to check myself the other day. I was responding to someone. I'm thinking like, well, how do you expect me to do this and this and this? And in my mind, it made sense. Because in my mind, I got this to do. I can't remember the baby people to tell everybody this and that, but how it comes across sometimes may not be the right way. And so we have to check ourselves, check our level of pride, check our level of what we're saying and what we're doing and how we're saying it and how we're doing it. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, because you could push people away. You could push the very favor that God had intended for you away from you. And God wants you to check yourself. He wants you to do the best that you can to walk away from the levels of pride and arrogance that you walked in 2017. Let's look at that. Let's check that and say, you know what? I was very prideful in this area. I was very arrogant. It was all about me and what's in it for me and what can you do for me? And if you don't have anything that you could do for me, then say la vie, baby, because I'm done. You have to check, go back and look at your life and say, God, show me. See, this is where I'm at right now. See, these 10 steps that I'm going to be giving you over the next few weeks, I want you to ask God, because I'm doing it. God, show me and the areas that I can walk in a more excellent way in. Because let me say this, what God is going to do in this season, time, and hour, I don't want me, the prideful me, to interfere with that. See, we can block our own blessings when we don't self-evaluate our own mindset, our own talk, our own walk. So in this season, in this newness of life, in this new beginning that God has given to you, ask God to show you. Ask him to show you and what levels of pride that you're operating on, what levels of arrogance that you're walking away on. What is it that you need to walk away from? Is your attitude on fleek? Meaning that is it all good in the hood? You got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Is it all about what your desires are in this season? God already know what you have a desire of. He already know what you want. He already know what you need. But is it all about you? Are you self-centered? Or your prayer self-centered? How can you go from praying selfish prayers or prideful prayers where it's all about what's in it for me, where you begin to really just pour out your heart for someone else? And in you pouring out your heart for someone else, God will in the process bless you. He will exalt you. I'm not saying that everybody under the sound of my voice is extremely prideful, is extremely arrogant. I'm not saying that, because I'm not an extremely prideful or arrogant person, but I do have prideful ways. I do have arrogant ways that can come across to other people as that was a prideful statement. That was an arrogant statement. And so this is where we have to sit here and be real and say, you know what? How can I say things or do things in a more excellent way that's first and foremost pleasing to God? Because God wants us to walk in love. He wants us to walk in the things of him. He wants us to evaluate us Okay, so the word says that when pride comes, then comes disgrace. But with humility comes wisdom. I want you to ask God for wisdom on how you can walk a better walk and talk a better talk in this season, this time, and this hour. The word says to humble yourself before the Lord and he will lift you up. It also says that pride brings a person into a low place, but the lowly in spirit gain honor. Where are you coming to a low place in your life at? Where is it in a relationship? Evaluate your relationships right now. Because if you're feeling like you're in a low place when it comes to, let's talk about marriage, for example. For marriages, you got to acknowledge when you are being prideful, when you are being stubborn, when you are being arrogant, when you are being self-centered, when you are being self-righteous, when you are being what's in it for me, it's all about me. God said it's time for us to understand where we're at when it comes to our relationships, because if not, it can bring our relationships to a very low place. Humility is the fear of the Lord. And the word says that its wages are riches and honor and life. If we walk in the humility that God wants us to walk in, he said it will bring you riches, it will bring you honor, and it will bring you life. So if you want the best life for your 2018, check your humility, check your pride. Do inventory one against the other, and which one is outweighing the other? Is your humility outweighing more than your pride? If so, that's great, but also find ways that you can have more grace to walk in more humility. We have to take heed to the word. We have to take heed to what God is showing us, and we have to make sure that we are doing everything that God tells us to do in this hour. Now listen to me. People of God, God is about to release phenomenal blessings, but he can't release it to a prideful person. He can't release it to an arrogant person. He can't release it to a person that when he gives you the blessing, it's all about you. It's not about blessing and sowing and seeing how you can bring increase and favor to somebody else. Check yourself in this season as God gets ready to release profound blessings. When I tell you new doors are being opened, I see babies being born, I see relationships and marriages coming into place. I see a whole bunch of increase for 2017. But if we are not checking our pride and raising our humility, then many of us are going to miss what God is doing in this season, this time, and this hour. There are things that are about to be released from the heavenlies, because in the heavenlies it's already done. The earth is just waiting for the heavenly release so that there could be a manifestation supernaturally. See, what God has already done for you is already done. But sometimes what God has already done for us can be delayed because of our own selfish ideas, our own selfish ways, our own selfish, arrogant stupidity. Call a spade a spade. When you look yourself in the mirror, you should be able to say, you know what? I handled that the wrong way. You know what? I'm not listening. I'm doing more talking than I am listening. You know what? I need to give them an apology. You know what? I need to, you fill in the blank. Because listen, I don't want you to miss out on the promises of God. I'm not trying to miss out on the promises of God. That's why I'm doing the same stuff that I'm telling you to do. That doesn't mean you're vain. You're just rude and obnoxious and you're a bad person. That just means you're looking to go to another level. Are you ready to go to another level? Because I sure am. So I'm going to be challenging you for the next 10 weeks to do something about it. We're going to go to the top of the mountain together. I'm cheering you on. You cheering me on. But we have to have constructive criticism in our life. We have to have an ear to hear when God is speaking, and God can speak to us through so many ways. And so I know right now that God is speaking to someone, that he is saying, check your arrogance, check your pride, check your mouth, check your attitude, check your love walk, check your love language, check your relationships. Because this year, God is ready to birth something new, something profound, something that goes beyond our own imagination. I believe he wants to do it in marriages. I believe he wants to do it in finances. But you got to check yourself. Check yourself, because there is some major things that God is getting ready to release. But if you're not ready, then guess what? You're going to be waiting next year, because it's like God goes like, I have to bring it back around again, because in this season, they're not ready for the release of the prophetic. They're not ready to be on a pedestal to preach to people. They're not ready to prophesy to folk. They're not ready to lay hands on people because they're too arrogant. They're too arrogant. They can't see past them. They think it's just all about them. But God is saying it's a new season and a new time. And I'm trying to bring elevation. But God said, guess who he's bringing elevation to? It's the humble. It's those that are humble in this hour. When I tell you riches are about to be released, favor is about to be released, abundance is about to be released, relationships are about to be released, babies are about to be released. All of this is going to be released. But God said, I'm going to grace it to those that are humble enough to say, God is me, that I need to check myself or I wreck myself. I need to get it together, because if I'm going to partake of your blessing plan, then there are some things that I got to do. No more grumbling and complaining like the children of Israel as they were on their way to the promise. If you grumbling and complaining about things that you don't have, things that you need, things that you desire, you still complaining, you still mad, you still frustrated, that's a pridefulness. Pridefulness is all about being self-centered. But when you can walk in love in the midst of your lack, when you can walk in love in the midst of your rejection, when you can walk in love in the midst of you not having everything that you believe in God for, that's a form of humility. And God said, now I can release the blessing. Now I can release the favor. Now I can release the abundance. Now I can release the breakthrough. See, you've been praying for 10 years, and sometimes we think it's people or it's situations. But a lot of times God is saying, no, I can't open up the floodgates because you ain't ready yet. You too prideful. You too stubborn. Get off your pedestal. Get off your pedestal. Get off your high horse, so that I can release the abundance and the favor that is at hand. See, heaven is already done, but heaven is waiting on the releaser from God to manifest it in the earth realm. God ain't gonna say, okay, heaven, open it up and pour it out until he sees that he can trust you with your next level. Can God trust you with your next level? This is a Selah moment. This is a Selah moment. You believe in him for all this stuff, fabulous stuff. I don't blame you. I'm believing him too. But you got to ask yourself, can God trust you at this next level? Can he trust you? Can he release it to you? Are you mature enough to handle the next level of what God is about to send to you? This is where we look ourselves in the mirror and say, you know what? I need to check myself, because I know I've been a little frustrated because I had so much going on in this hour, in this season, and I'm a little frustrated. I'm a little flabbergasted, and but God, I'm going to get it together. This is where you do a self-check. Ain't nobody else got to check you. This is where you look your own self in the mirror, and you don't get judged by nobody but you. Let me tell you, one of the hardest judgments in the Bible, one of the hardest judgments is self-judgments. I teach on the judgments of God in the Bible, in the Word, and one of the judgments that I teach on in the prophetic is self-judgment. That's one of the hardest judgments anybody could ever have, because it's hard for people to look themselves in the mirror and say, you know what, that's me right there. Yep. I got an attitude with my spouse. I'm going off on my children. I'm frustrated on my job because I kind of got it's all about me. It's all about me mentality, because everybody ain't doing what I need them to see. See, this is where you check your vocabulary. Everybody ain't doing what I need them to do. Everybody ain't saying what I want them to say. Everybody's not going where I want them to go. And nobody's listening to me, because my words are, I know I got the words straight from the throne. I know that when God showed me something, or when God tell me something, that's just it. You know what I'm saying? This is where you listen to your vocabulary and you realize that your vocabulary is very self-centered. You are surrounded by what you want, what you need, what you desire. But I'm just giving you some steps in 2018. If you really want God to manifest these blessings, the breakthrough, then there are some things that you and I'm not excluded. That doesn't mean that we're bad people. That just means that we're doing self-analysis. That means that we're checking ourselves. That means that we're making sure that we're prepared for our next level. See, when preparation When you are prepared, your preparation will meet up with opportunity. And when the opportunity comes, you are already in preparation mode, that you made up in your mind that you're not going to miss nothing that God is doing in this season. You might have missed it last year because you weren't mature enough. You weren't ready enough. And you were still attitudinal. You were still this and that and da-da-da-da-da. But God said this year, when it come back around, you're going to be ready. Your preparation is meeting up with your opportunity. So I'm going to be giving y'all 10 steps for the next few weeks to get yourself together for 2018. So the first one, y'all already know, is check yourself when it comes to walking in humility. Check yourself when it comes to walking in humility. Ask God, how could you be better in this area? How could you be more loving? How could you be more patient? How could you be more kind? How could you be more gentle? You know, all of those things, okay? So that's the word of the day. I pray that it has been an encouragement to you. It hit your soul and it went on down to your spirit, because that's where the change can come. When your spirit controls your soul, you know you are in control of your destiny. But when your soul is in control of your spirit, you are headed in the wrong direction. Remember last time I told you that your soul is a terrible master. Your soul, your flesh, your will, your mind is a terrible master, but it's a wonderful, wonderful slave. Cause your spirit to be the master, to direct your soul to the place where it needs to go. Be blessed, guys, and don't forget to share this with someone, because somebody needs to hear that they need to walk in more humility and loose themselves of prideful and arrogant ways. All right, guys, I love you, and make sure you share this with someone else to be a blessing. All right, have a wonderful day, and thank you for tuning in.